Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Hope you're having a great day. So today's video will be a little bit different, mainly because I have no camera for first, and for second, the replay is kind of broke, so we're kind of limited in the things that we can review, so I kind of need to load random games before I can review games. And you see I literally have no defeats in my list, because I need to load custom games to actually reset this list, so I need to review the only defeat I have, which I already have reviewed. That's an interesting one, because I got this one reviewed by a professional coach called OW2. And actually I will now go over the same replay and try to think about the same topic that we actually went through and see what my thoughts are. So I want to mention that this, of course, is not what he thinks, but what I got out of it. So it might be totally wrong. Don't blame it on him, blame it on me, not understanding stuff. But with that said, let's review this game. Sorry. Poked my microphone. The topic we talked about was playmaking. So, playmaking, let's define playmaking as an individual tool. Like that we have another tool now, a set of tools. So, in the past we tried to work on our risk management, and mainly we worked on actually playing with our team and getting value without taking any unnecessary risk. So we tried to minimize our risk, and we kind of have been successfully doing that. But now this is one of the matches where this actually was not enough. So if you encounter such a match where playing safe with your team is not enough, for example, because your supports are not supporting you as much as you want, or your tank cannot create enough space, so playing with your team does not provide you with the success you would like, you can now then in-game decide to switch the playstyle from playing safe with your team to actually try and go for a play. And this is not only for the entire game, but it can also be only used individually. So for example, the enemy won the first team fight, so the second team fight you kind of want to stop the tempo, win fast and hard, kind of carry it a little bit. Because they would have the ult advantage and stuff, so then it's more worth to take the risk and go for a play. So that's when to use it. How does it look like? As we have defined, it is basically understand what the weakest link of the enemy team is that you can punish. And for that, it got a helpful tip to understand what the strongest part of the team is and avoid that and go in the opposite direction, basically. So if there is a Mercy Booster Sojourn, which we will encounter later in the front, then maybe go for the solo Anna in the back, basically. And basically you off-angle hard and you try to live on that off-angle and create an additional pressure point and try to get the value from there. Okay.
I'll make sure this goes smooth.
So that's roughly our definition. And now we see this team fights where I could have applied this playmaking and how I could have executed it, what my targets could have been. And so on and so on. Of course, the boring start. So the first fight should be totally safe, because you don't know if you need playmaking. So remember, playmaking means additional risk, and you are not guaranteed value. So maybe you get less value because you just die. So you should have a reason to go for this risk. And before you have any information, before the first team fight, so you cannot have a reason to go for this risk. So here we're just playing with the team, denying that off angle, playing safe. Here we go for a slight off angle, but this is still a very safe position with lots of cover and movements. They cannot punish me easily, except they go for a 1-on-1. I have easy route back to my support without crossing enemy line. So this should be a safe flank. But we die. Okay, and I got told that this is totally fine. So this is just something that just happens, but this off-angle itself was safe enough for the first team fight. Okay, with that said, now we respawn, we try to go back, but we see that our team still staggers a lot. Instead of dying on the payload, they just do not die, which is terrible. Always try to die on payload as fast as possible if your fight is already lost. Because now they're feeding extra slow. Look at this. If they would have died fast on payload, they would have respawned already. But instead, the enemies go to push for 10 seconds extra. So we go back and wait for our team to respawn. Always keep your ear open, don't be fully AFK. Always listen if a Genji or something dives you randomly.
There they are. Get ready.
So we heal them up there, so that's why we ping it.
Not so fast.
And now here's one of the situations where playmaking might be applied. Why? Because playing safe with our team would mean we walk here with our team and we get a constant fire from high ground and we can never punish it. Because we play with our team, we don't go for this action, we would be 1 versus 2. Or even 1-1 would be worse enough. So just walking here, including the enemy team, is a no-go. We will not survive this. So here, we actually need to go for a play. This is one of the situations. And what I got told is that instead of jumping up there, let me shortly zoom back to my character. Now we go out again. Exactly. Instead of jumping up there, I should use the time to actually go here. And when my Hawk fights this angle, I create this off angle and fight from here and deny them this space. Because then they are in the crossfire, they cannot only shoot one direction, and it's very uncomfortable for them. Ideally, I would not shoot the Orisa only, but ideally I would actually go for the Kiriko, or now Kiriko gone, the Tracer. Because of course the damage is just a little bit more significant than on Orisa that has too many cooldowns. So, but if I have the choice, of course. So I would not go in a 1 versus 3 to find a better angle here. But instead, of course, we fight here for this high ground. Sorry, I pressed the random button again. And yeah, we basically get punished for it because the supports now think, oh, free space, I walk here with my team, play safe. But they forget to actually support the guys that actually enable this space. Yeah, and so it's basically a fail. So the enemies invest just always 1 more than we have. So first I went in, then it was 1 versus 2. The Genji came, so it was short 2-2, but it was already low. But then Kiriko came, so it was 3-2. Now I left, so it's 3-1 onto the Genji. And actually I'm impressed that Genji managed to fend them off. This is really absolutely insane. Absolute madness. Well done by Genji. Okay, now we are back and playing safe with our team. But as you see in the health bars, our team has suffered a lot more than the enemy team. That's the result of this, not playmaking, but yeah. So basically, instead of going up here and go in a 1 versus 2, where the enemies can easily fend me off and they think, oh, free food, yum yum yum, snack me away. Instead, I go and threat something that forces them to react. So if I shoot the Kiriko, Mercy would need to actually leave her Sojourn alone and go back here, for example. And then if Mercy leaves, Sojourn stays up, we might have a 5-4 situation for a few seconds where we can start to steamroll the fight. You know, just get a few cooldowns out, get a little bit of positioning advantage, you know, the good stuff. All the small things that make up a teamfight win. Okay, but in general, this from now on is kinda meh, because after we decided to not go for the play, but to play safe, we kinda didn't have much choice left. So all cooldown is gone, we cannot react, so there's just no decisions to be made here. So the teamfight is decided. Okay, so you use ults. So that's at least something. Now we go back. And now basically again. So if this is the second teamfight we lost, so if we keep this up, we will lose the game most likely. Because we lost the first teamfights and now the enemies... well, actually they do not have ult advantage because they just used it. So maybe they do not have an ult advantage. But still we kinda need to swing this fight around. The enemies have now also the short spawn. So this again, instead of going back to my tank... Well, right here I don't have a choice honestly, because I am so far away. But instead of attempting to go back to here, I should kind of strive to go through this door and shoot the Mercy, for example, forcing the Kiriko to go back. Like if as soon as Kiriko teleports back to save the Mercy, this guy is basically alone and dies. He's already nearly alone. But if I pressure Sojourn, the same. If I just shoot into this too, Kiriko might actually stop supporting the Orisa and start supporting Sojourn, shoot at me, and this guy dies to my team. So instead of shooting the front line with my team, which has proven to not work, we could try something else, and this is create a distraction, create an off angle, create more pressure from the side, and actually try to dominate with our mechanics and get headshots and kills. But it worked out in this case. Yeah, but don't forget that you cannot be result based. So it is not right or wrong because the result was positive or negative. You have to analyze the situation regardless of the result. And I think we would have killed the Orisa either way. So if I went out of spawn, shot the Orisa, but then at this point I slided here to this door because this door is safe enough, so I don't need this cooldown, I still have my orb. I can decide to orb and deny some space and shoot. Or even continue to shoot Orisa because the siege was low, right? As I can get more angles, and I can basically deny some space here that they are required to help this Orisa. And you might say, okay, but the Orisa was noob, the Orisa was overextended here. But well, yeah, okay, but if the Orisa would have been with a payload, so Orisa would be at this corner, then of course my tank would be at this corner, or maybe also at this corner, or maybe at this lantern post, whatever, I do not know. But that means, okay, then I can take the next corner, I can go here, I can go here, right? There's always the next corner I can take. Because usually as Sojourn you have more mobility as your tank, except if you dive, of course. Yeah. Okay, here we again play safe with our team. The thing here now is that we completely waste our ult. Why is this ult a waste? Well, it's actually kind of easy and I have no idea why I missed this in-game. What is missing on my screen? It's very simple, it's not a trick question. What is missing in this team fight? And I really do not know how I missed this in-game. Like usually I try to track this stuff, but you see in my bottom right? Look who's not there. Like I'm ulting to win a 5 versus 4. So this team fight would have been free win already. There's no need to ult here. It just maybe I can stagger them a little bit longer, but this is really not worth investing in ult.
This ends now.
Because basically with using this ult we just push the payload just as the same amount. So the thing is, if I would have used ult now, so imagine they were all enemies are alive, the teamfight starts now. We would have pushed the same way, and now I ult, then the enemies can still not contest. But if I kill something now, they are delayed that amount longer that they survived here, right? So like my team staggered before, if I manage to stagger them now instead of killing them fast, so if I win this team fight with my ult, I stagger them longer, basically. And I had the opportunity to stagger them with my ult. And with stagger, I mean win this team fight, convincingly. Now, this is an example where you said that this off angle is very good. And this is kind of like how playmaking should be. Like, so we decide that our team is not winning. We just use ult, so we go off for an off angle. We've tried to fight this alone, and this is a very nasty one. Because I can basically shoot the Mercy, which forces her in a different position and then forces someone else to help the Mercy. So I'm getting more attention, and they have a hard fight shooting up here, but it only works as long as I do not overcommit and make myself a hard target here to hit. Kind of doing a good job here with the right cover, shooting the Mercy, so now Tracer hides, Mercy hides. And they are just kind of, in general, this a little bit more disorganized. Now Kiriko looks at me. Now the front line of them is entirely without supports. So these guys, both of them do not have any supports left. All supports are watching me. And even Genji can now choose freely what he shoots. Really not sure if I like his play, but that's not my concern. Now, here the interesting thing is that usually I would have gone as soon as I take damage, what I did here, but actually was told that I can stay here longer and I risk even to stay here longer, just play a little bit more defensive. Because now you see, I lose my pressure and now they all just W with a Kiriko ult into our face. And luckily it was just barely enough that you actually get a kill on the Tracer because Orisa was forced to get back, but it was very, very narrow. Orisa had her ult running, so if the enemy Kiriko would have been a little bit better, or Mercy, I do not know, they would have supported the Tracer for one healing tick, she would have survived, and Orisa would have also survived because she had her spear swirling going on. And so in this fight now is a win, but we need to invest an additional ult. So we traded the Kiriko ults evenly, but now we need to invest. Actually we traded the Genji ult for Mercy ult. So it's also an even trade from ult wise. Okay. But remember, we used our ult before, and especially if you have your ult, you can go for more aggressive angles. So I could have used this play make with my ult together. And that would force them, of course, even more back and give my team more space and stuff. Now, this is, I think, also again a kinda okay example for playmaking. But the problem with this is that it's not playmaking because that's basically only poking because I can never go in. So whatever happens, I cannot go in. Except if I would have my ult, I could have killed the Sojourn. Because this, of course, just randomly slides into my face. That's not that's for mystics. There's nothing I can do reliable. So again, as I said, your choices should not be dependent on results, but on your estimation of the situation. And this was just pure luck. I should not have gotten away with it. Yeah, but I did. So let's take it. Okay, press the wrong button. Sorry. It's always because I press my right control. It's closer to my arrow keys. So we have already a kill, so I estimate I don't need to do much. Tracer will run straight to my shot. And one thing I want to add here is a short note about aiming. Look at this aim on the Tracer. The thing about this aim is, it's not really aimed. It's actually tracked. And it's actually hard to explain, but that's something Overwatch specific. Like, I usually would go this position, and I just move my crosshair kinda so it's not, like, I did not aim at Tracer, I just understood where she would go. That's the thing, you kinda pick up the dodging patterns of enemies, and then you kind of repeat the dodging patterns, basically. But I mean, to say it's not as reactive as it seems. So with not reactive, it seems. I mean, usually you need to see where she's going, and then correct the crosshair. But if you understand the movement, you can skip the step and just predict where she will be. It's basically a prediction shot, and not a aim shot. That's what I mean. Now again, as I said, we're just pressuring the things. We don't need to do anything. We're pushing the payload. We have the advantage. Our team is not going with us, so we also just stay safe. It's fine. Now for this, I would have wished I went in a little bit deeper with the first jump. And I also had the opportunity to actually go for a wider off angle. This entire time I just poked here. So basically... I really don't know. So here I do not need to be so defensive. I will not die even if I go a little bit out and take some damage and get my ult faster. Sorry. Because there's just Narissa to farm ult and she's looking at Genji right. So I could have an easy opportunity to farm my ult and then go and slide up here. Oh, sorry. And then I have an easy ult off angle basically. Where I can basically farm the Sojourn. It's coming out of spawn. And maybe the supports. And then they basically have to decide if they fully split. So basically if I slide up, I jump, I slide to jump, then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe. Then I shoot here, and then I have slide in 2 seconds up. So I kind of have an escape route. Like here. But yeah, I have a Mega Health pack, so I have all things I need to have. And if the enemies decide, oh, we push the Sojourn away, then I just slide out and they lose more time, basically. Because if they run to here and I slide back to my team, I can regroup faster than they can go to the payload, basically.
Not so fast.
And I kind of didn't notice that I was so close to my ult. I was kind of surprised myself that I have my ult now here. And now I can ult, but now I have this cuffs position basically, where I cannot really fully go in or go back, or that's really a bad position, because what is this? That is neither playmaking, nor is it playing safe with my team, right? This is nothing. So this is just terrible.
This ends now.
I really need to either be on an off angle where the enemies don't look at me, or have my tank in front of me. Like here, I'm just frontlining and I can't do anything with it,
Now.
because basically I'm just instantly forced to go back. I mean, even sliding to here and building my off angle pressure from here would even be better. Even though it's kinda more open, so they can punish it more faster, just with Mercy, Sojourn, climbing up. It's the same thing, it's just faster. Like here, my way would be like 5 seconds, but it was also, the enemy would need to invest 5 seconds to clear me off. And here's maybe 2 seconds, but the enemies need to invest 2 seconds to clear me off. Which might not be enough for an ult, honestly. But still, it's the same idea. It would be better than what I'm doing now. This is just a garbage play. Because this is neither, not playing with team, not playmaking. So basically we can just skip this. If you get value, that's only by random, not because we played well. And you see I die fast, my team survives. That was just bad play. Tap, 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 tap. The robot is very loud. Oh, okay. So what's the status? Try to go in, but at that moment my Kiriko instantly died before I could do anything. Right? That looks very dramatic, but there was literally nothing I could have done here. Ah, well, is it true? Is it way? I should have gone the right side. That's one thing. I should have gone to the right side. And again, I should have just opted straight for the playmaking and went to here. Yeah, would have been better. But I opted to go back to my team. And now I'm just stuck in a 4 versus 5 and nothing I can do. In general, I feel like when I try for playmaking, what I always call it, I kind of tend to get punished too easily, so I really need to refine my skills with that. But it's something we will be training in the upcoming days. Here again. Shooting a horse-wearing spear is worthless. Go here, shoot the low targets. You see how low they are? They would suffer a lot from my shots. In theory, I could have had my railgun and headshot something already. And again, and this is a kind of very safe space, right? Like I would see them from here, I have good cover, they need to go inside, I can slide across to the health pack. Like this is really easy to play. Okay, but I think that will be enough for today. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it despite the bad format today. I just still want to keep you, of course, up to date on what we want to train. And we will be training. Well, we are now scouting for games where we can actually apply the skills and train them. And then we will try to review them. So thank you very much for watching. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, comment. Comments are very helpful, by the way. Also, I'm streaming live on Twitch. If you want to stop by, say hi. Don't be shy. Haha, it rhymes. I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Thanks for watching.